Hi and welcome to THFC Till I Die, and thank you for joining us this evening after, well, a little bit of a disappointing result tonight. We lost our last pre-season game to Roma 1-0. Probably not the best result before our first league game against Southampton next weekend, but you could probably take a lot of positives and negatives out of it. But we will get into that more in a minute. I want to welcome my two usual co-hosts, the Godfather of all the channels, Phillip Brady. How are you this evening, Phillip?
Yeah, a bit disappointed with the result, but not too downhearted because there were some good positives from the match. And we were up against a Roma team that was sent out by Jose Mourinho to do a job. And we were also against a referee who should really learn how to spell the word because he certainly didn't act it.
That's true.
Yeah.
And down below, well,
very true.
All the Spurs community. She is the queen of social media. She's also the queen in the Spurs community. It is our lovely Queen Elly Holberg. Elly, how are you this evening, and what did you think of the match?
I'm fine, thank you. It was sort of a game of two halves. We had a lot of possession, not enough good passing. Although the stats show that we got better passing range than them, just too much sideways and backwards for my liking. Too much, no creativity.
Typical the Italian job, as you would call it. Yeah. You know,
definitely.
I just want to pick up our Patreon members, Phillip Brady, of course, and Queen Elly Holberg, and Mark Cousins, as well as Izhan, are all Patreon members. You'll all see them on this channel. If you want to become a Patreon member yourself, there is 3 different memberships on the link on the YouTube channel. So, but thank you to everyone who does do that. And also, just a quick hello in the chat. CEG Pollock, it says hello. Hello, sir, and welcome to the stream.
Hello.
Thank you. Right, guys, let's crack straight into it. There's no really beating about the bush. I'll start with you, Philip. Before we start, I want to just bring up the team for people. It goes really with my first question. Philip, where is it now? Oh, here. Right. There's the team for tonight. And the really first question to you is, before I bring that up, why has Conte kept playing Sanchez on the left? He just doesn't play well there. So why has he kept going in the 3 pre-seasons? Why has he kept him there?
Actually, to be honest, to be fair to Sanchez, he didn't do too badly tonight in the 45 minutes that he was on. I've seen him play worse, I'd say possibly it's because Ben Davies is probably still nursing that ankle injury. I know he was on the bench tonight. He's probably not fit enough to take a chance on him. So maybe that's why he's doing it. I know certainly in the second half he changed it and brought on Longley. And Longley was very impressive in my opinion now. He had a really good game. And he's not scared to run up the field with the ball either. He won a brilliant run up the left wing there, which almost created a goal. So, I don't know why Sanchez. I mean, I know Sanchez is a player a lot of fans love to hate or hate to love or whatever way it is, but he is in the team for a reason, and we have to trust Conte on that one. Although I do think we will get another centre back. I think that's imperative. We get another centre back before the transfer window opens or closes. And I think Milicevic has been mentioned again tonight, which would be a brilliant signing for us. Dominance in the air, whatever. If that's the case, then you will find our central 3 will be Romero, Longley, and another, with Dyer and Sanchez and Davis in reserve. I think that's the way most people would like it to see. Although Ben Davis can come in and do a job as he's done in the past. I think that's the way it's going to work out. But, in Conte we trust, and he has his reasons, and who are we to doubt it, He's the guy who gets it right more often than he gets it wrong, so,
That's very true, Philip. That's so true. Elly, Dyer and Sanchez together, they always one of them seems to let us down. If it's in a major game or it's in pre-season. We had Sanchez in the first pre-season game doing his Bruce Lee impersonation, and we've got Dyer tonight losing his man for the goal. I mean, why do managers after managers after managers, Mourinho, Mason, I know it was probably their mate, Nuno, even Jose, why did they keep picking these players that let us down? If it's not both of them, it's one of them.
No.
Surely it's time, Elly, we had an upgrade. What's your feelings on them?
Do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to collate all the crappy mistakes they've made and send them to Conte to his email. It's just, I don't understand it, Dermot. I just don't understand how he can keep on playing them. He obviously sees they're not good enough. Maybe he's playing them to send a message to the club that they're not good enough. I don't know, but it's just, we can't go on with these two. It's going to ruin our season, because however good Romero is and however good our front 2 are, we're always going to have that calamity at the back. And it's not good enough.
Romero made a tackle tonight. It was reminiscent of Ledley King's tackle on Aaron Robben about 12 years ago.
Brilliant.
Where he got back to make that block. I mean, that was sensational. I mean, we're so lucky to have that guy, because he's going to be the best centre back in the season. It's just a pity that the supporting cast is a little bit suspect. It's like doing a play, brilliant actor, and the supporting cast is crap. That's probably. I'm not saying they're crap, but they're not good enough to be playing alongside the likes of Romero and even Longley. So, I mean, if I was Conte, I'd put the phone to Paratici tonight, if he's not out in Israel, he says, get me a centre half and get me one quick. Don't care what it costs, get him.
Yeah.
Because otherwise,
he was in Israel tonight.
He was.
Philip, he was there. There was a picture of him talking to Jose. So whatever that was about, I don't know. But I think Paratici
was. It wasn't man Zavioli, whatever you call him, because he was rubbish tonight.
Yeah. I did this to you. I did this to you first, Elly, and then I go to you, Philip. Shamu, big up Shamu. Thank you for joining us.
Big
and thank you for the question, for the comment. He said, bloody boring match. Bit worried about Richarlison having no goals yet. 60 million LOL. Created F4 today. Elly, what do you say to Shamu?
I just think he's saving himself for the Premiership. Thing is, it's just pre-season, so we can't judge. We've had really brilliant pre-seasons in the past, and all our players have been scoring. And then when the season starts, we start losing. So I don't read too much into it because they're all finding their feet. They're a new team together. There's 6 new players in there. I know he's rotated them, but they've got to get used to each other's play as well. And Richarlison's going to be coming off the bench most of the time, and we're only going to see him if things are going wrong, aren't we? We're not going to see him if things are going, unless things are going really right and we're 3 or 4-0 up, and then he brings him on.
Can I just apologise if you hear any shouting or singing? My next door neighbours are having a party, I think. So if any singing comes through, I do apologise.
I've got
I
neighbours
may be
just
joining
like
them
that.
after this, but never mind. The same to you, Philip. I mean, do you agree with Shamu? I mean, are you worried about the Richarlison, or is it just one of them things?
No, I'm not worried.
He will come good.
Yeah, do you remember the run he had tonight where he should have shuffled his way through? And I reckon he was fouled there. That was another penalty we should have had. I won't mention the other one yet. But no, I'm actually been quite impressed with him over what he's bedding in. He's played with Everton for the last few seasons. And let's face it, coming from a crap team like that into a decent side must be a bit of a culture shock. He'll come good when the time is right, and he will be a good player for us. I've no worries about it at all. Really haven't.
Big up, Shamu. And we've got another question
coming
here from Drew LA. Well, big up Ellie's niece. Thank you for commenting, and thank you very much for getting in touch. You made your auntie very happy below. I might as well go to you, Elly. I have to do this.
She's a big Spurs fan like me.
Longley and Perisic were very impressive tonight. Romero once again bossing in that defence. Dyer and Sanchez do not work together. Hallelujah. Somebody with a bit of common sense. They tend to switch off.
That's it. It's my family.
The question I want to put to you, Elly, and then to you, Philip, is a lot of Spurs fans seem to be saying, and I've heard Dave say on his channel and a few people on another channel, Dyer's all right. He has a good sinner. He can talk to other defenders. But when he's switching off and letting goals in, that's not good enough. And then when you get Sanchez as well, that can at any time switch off. Elly, what do you do? I mean, what can you do even to change one of them? What would you do?
Yeah, I've heard David say that, but in his defence as well, he did say go and get a linguist job somewhere.
Yeah.
Maybe the Home Office are doing.
Probably would, actually.
The thing is, I don't care how many languages he speaks. He doesn't speak the language of football. And he hasn't got a football defender's brain. I mean, he used to play midfield, but in defence, he's so calamitous. And it's only Romero that makes him look a bit better than what he is, right? Because he covers a lot of damage that Dyer leaves. He leaves so many gaps and he doesn't concentrate. And all he does is he's very slow when he moves the ball. So we can't get it to our midfield players. By the time he's got it to them, they're half asleep, the midfielders. So we need somebody who can move the ball quickly. And Longley, I agree with my niece. Fantastic. He knows how to bring the ball out, the boy. You need players to come out of defence and link up the play very well. And Dyer just doesn't offer us that, and he doesn't offer us good defence. Like I said, I don't care how many languages he speaks. He's not good enough.
No, he's not. And Philip, I mean, Perisic and Longley tonight were brilliant get-ins by Paratici. Great defence. I mean, for me, Perisic, I think, was one of the man of the match for me. He was outstanding. He was brilliant tonight. And Longley as well. And do you think we're going to get the best out of Longley now after his disappointing spell at Barcelona?
Yeah, I mean, listen, Barcelona must be like playing in a goldfish bowl playing out in Spain. Every move you make is analysed and discussed in the papers out there. I mean, football, I know we're mad about soccer here, football. In Spain, it's an obsession. And every player can have his confidence rattled to the extreme. He makes one mistake in a match and he's never forgiven for it. And unfortunately, some Spurs fans have heard about these mistakes, and now they're thinking he's going to make the same ones when he comes over here. Based on what we've seen so far, I think he's an excellent player. And he's not just a defender, he's an absolute ball player as well.
Yeah.
You know, he's got an eye for a pass. And the pass he made the other night there against Rangers down the wing to, I think it was Richarlison, was classic.
Brilliant.
The run was brilliant. You know, so like I'm going on the assumption, and I hope I'm right, that come the end of August, our back three is Romero, as I said, Romero, Langley, and another. And the other boys are they won't be in the team to make the mistakes they've been making. I think it's a lack of concentration.
Yeah.
It's the problem, the biggest problem. They're both trying to switch off. And in the Premiership, you cannot switch off for a moment, because if you do, you're in trouble. You know, even if daydreaming about something, that you're gone, you're finished. So I think they will be.
It's also ability as well, Phil. I mean, you've got players that have got.
I think Dwyer is actually a better sense.
The utmost ability to cope with things, you know, and they just don't have it.
I think I saw a post somewhere from somebody living in Colombia. Is that where Sanchez plays for Colombia?
Yeah, Colombia.
Colombia, yeah.
He's excellent for them all the time. Okay, now maybe the standard he's up against isn't what he's up against in the Premiership week in, week out, you know. But Eric Dyer is a converted midfielder, and I honestly think he's a better player in midfield. In midfield, you're not as prone to, if you switch off for a second, it's not fatal. But you switch off back, it is fatal. So you know, but like, let's face it, he's with Spurs how many 7 years now? 7, 8 years. He's been a good. The club.
Right, you there, Philip?
Is he frozen?
I think Philip's frozen, Elly.
He'll come out. Don't worry.
He'll come out.
He's a bit like Dyer.
It is. I wouldn't say that to him. We've got Shamu here. Sorry, I didn't send you a link, Dermot. Was having trouble with all the game. Good point. The ref was as deluded as Ty from AMTV. What I'll do, I'll take Philip out there, and I'll tell Philip. Philip might have to link out and link in, Elly. We've got your niece here again. Big up, Drew LA. Thank you so much for subscribing as well and coming on tonight. We can't read too much in the friendlies. We cannot go too hard into these games, as we need to keep these players fit. But oh my God, that ref was dive. That ref for me, right? And I did put it in the comment on Dave's channel, right? And I will say it now. Roma and the Chiefs and Jose went into the referee last night. Do you want a couple of Italian ladies for the night? Bit of a massage, you know, a few bottles of champagne on our tab. You look after us, we'll look after you.
Pizzas.
And the referee fell for it. There should have been a penalty, if not one but two. I mean, Harry Kane was getting hacked down left, right, and centre. There was a goal that should have stood that was not offside. So the official, where did they get these officials from, Elly? Seriously, where did they get them from? And the standard of refereeing for me is diabolical.
I know.
It really is, Elly. We've got Shamu.
But what can you do? You just have to go with it. You can't change it now, so...
You do. Shamu said, thought Perisic looked bright, some promising moments from him. Elly, were you impressed with him?
Yeah. I like the way he put his foot on the ball, looked around, picked out a pass, took on his player. And he's just class, isn't he? You can't beat class. And he's got so much experience. He's going to show our lads how to play, you know. And hopefully they'll step up as well, because some of them were a bit lacking tonight. Kane and Sonny were okay. They weren't nothing to write home about with their performances. I think Kane was slightly better. Sonny was in and out, wasn't he? So, we need to get the ball to them, though. They were making good runs. And a lot of the time, somebody could have put them through.
Did you feel with the improvement when Bentancur came on in the second half? Do you feel that he got on the ball better and he was able to spread it round a bit? Do you think also, Elly, this question we'll put to you, do you think he plays better with Bentancur plays better with Holberg than Basuma plays than Holberg? And do you think that would be the pairing on Saturday against Southampton, Bentancur and Holberg.
I think so. Yeah, because he's trusted too. I think Basuma's got to do a lot of work to shift either of them. Yeah. All right, he gave Basuma a run tonight to see how he copes with Højbjerg, and he saw quite early that it wasn't quite working. They haven't. They're too similar, you know. They're too similar. They're. I think Bentancur, he links up very well and he knows when to go, and then Højbjerg stay back. And when Højbjerg goes forward, Bentancur drops back. So they've got a very good understanding, and that counts. That counts in football. You know, when you've got a great partnership in the middle. Now all we need is one more creative to put in there with them.
Yeah.
Who can spray the ball, who can see a pass. I'm not saying they can't see a pass, but they're not like a Maddison who can see a pass. I mean, he had 13, 14 assists and about 13 goals last season. So that's proof of the pudding. You need somebody to score goals, create.
I was going to say, how worried are you, Elly, that we can beat low block teams? There was Brighton last season, Burnley, another team we couldn't break. Are you worried that
struggled?
We struggled. Even tonight, we struggled against a team that was playing low block. Are you worried that we still can't get that lock in? You know, that player in, and who do you want to come in? Who do you want to come in that can make? That's all right, Phillip. Who do you want to come in that can do that job for us? Who do you think we should go for?
I think Maddison would be able to do it, and then a much better right wing back, because a lot of our play down the right was atrocious, and the defending, like Doherty's not a defender; he's more of a right wing back, but he's supposed to defend, but he doesn't. So we need somebody better. If Spence is the answer, we don't know yet. But he obviously hasn't played him, so there must be something wrong there. You know, so I'm just hoping that we get a creative.
And we've got Mark from the pub, I think, from his holiday.
Yeah, it looks like it.
Very quick. I'll come to you in a minute, Mark. Phillip, I wonder if you could answer Carl Simpson's comment here. It says Bentancur and Basuma play better together because they are different players. Højbjerg and Basuma are the same player. Do you agree with Carl?
Yeah. I'd like to see a bit more of Basuma now before I actually totally agree with that, you know. I thought Højbjerg was okay tonight now, and Basuma was a little bit off with his passing. Yeah, I'll tell you, ask me that question in 2 or 3 matches' time, and I'll tell you. I just haven't seen enough of Basuma yet to form an opinion on him. But it was my, with no offense to Højbjerg, it was my, thoughts that it would be that Bentancur and Basuma would be the starting for the Premiership. But we'll see. You know, I mean, it'll take Basuma a time to bed in, a little bit of time. So. I don't want to knock Højbjerg because he's a great player. I know how much Elly thinks of him, so I don't want to.
I do.
I haven't told Elly yet. I sold him on FIFA in the first window in my career mode. I haven't told Elly yet, and I don't think she's noticed.
Look, she's not close to you now, Dermot. You get a slap.
Mind you, I did get something like 45 million from him. Did go to Barcelona, so I got a good deal for it.
That's all right. That's okay.
I sent him to a better club.
A Greek lady slap you never recover from.
No, that's true. I did try to buy Modric, and it came up on FIFA said this player has a grudge against your club, which made me laugh.
Oh, right, okay, fair enough. But you're talking about the right.
It's up to Conte who he plays, who he trusts. Yeah. I think he trusts Højbjerg. So I'm thinking he's going to start with Højbjerg, and then if Højbjerg lets him down, then he'll bring in Basuma. Or he might play all three. You never know.
He used to always do a Saturday night.
He might surprise us all.
And
certain matches, like if you're playing the likes of Man City or Liverpool, you're going to go for a more defensive setup than you are against, say, like Southampton or Brighton. So, possible. I'd say that the squad rotation is going to be so important this season. Everyone's going to get a lot of games.
It is.
How are you, Mark, from wherever you are?
I'm very
You're
well.
abroad now.
I am very well. Can you hear me? I'm on my
Can
phone
you-
in the bar.
Is your
We
location?
can hear you.
Can you share it?
The internet is rubbish down there.
Yeah. He's in the seat. He's on a Conte secret mission looking for new
Secret
players.
mission,
That's
right.
what he's doing.
He looks
He's
different
saying-
tonight.
I'm in the bar.
Yeah.
Let me introduce
Yeah,
you
we
to my
can
mate.
see.
Okay. Is he a
Introduce you to
Spurs
my
fan?
mate. No, he's an Arsenal fan.
Oh, no.
Right,
You
here
don't
we
want to
go.
speak
Yeah,
to
mate.
him then.
Yeah, mate.
I've got the thing on the remove button. I rarely do.
You all come on here. This is Tottenham channel. Tottenham channel. That's my mate. He's
Hello. All right. I'm
Oh, yeah.
I can't
Hello.
hear you, Mark.
Yeah. Hello.
Oh yeah, you're going down
Arsenal
this
won
season
6-0
and then you're
today.
going off.
Didn't they? Yeah, cut him off.
Good, yeah.
That's all we're
We
having.
don't want gooners
I think Mark,
infiltrating
we
us,
can't
do
hear
we?
you. Right. Elly, what's the, Carl Simpson here says, my take on Spence not getting the game is because we have offers for Doherty and Emerson. Conte was making sure which player was going to go. What do you say to Carl Simpson?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a lot of truth in that, I would
We
suspect.
can't hear you,
Because
Elly, now.
Emerson, you can get 25
I'll
mil.
put that to you, Phillip.
Huh? You all right?
Can you hear me?
Yeah. You hear me?
We really are having some tech issues tonight.
We
you
can. I
guys
can
hear
hear
me?
you.
Well, the one
can
thing
hear
about
you,
Doherty
yeah.
Can't
Doherty
hear
and
you,
Emerson.
Elly. I can't
You can't
hear
hear
Phillip
me?
either.
I can hear that. I can hear Elly.
Have you
Can hear
switched
you
something?
No.
Okay.
Did you
Can
switch something?
people let me know if you can hear them?
I can hear you.
My take on that.
I can hear Phillip. You can hear me, can't you, Phillip?
Yeah,
My
I can
take
hear
on
you.
that
Yeah, I
comment
can hear
Yeah,
both.
yeah. Can you hear us now, Dermot?
It's because we have offers for Doherty. Yeah, can hear you. Oh, we can hear you all. Well, I just can't hear them. Elly, do you want to answer Carl's question? I can't hear you, but they can.
Yeah. Yeah, Doherty and Emerson, yeah, he's sussing them out, isn't he? You know, maybe the Spence is the one he's going to go with. You don't know. But if he does sell Doherty and he does sell Emerson, we'll get around about 40 million, 25 and 15 maybe. That's quite a lot of money into the coffers. That'll be our centre back or part of the centre back's money, you know. So let's see how it pans out. You never know what Conte's cooking. He surprises us a lot.
I think tonight was an audition between the two boys to see who stays and who goes, to be honest with you. And the way I look at it, Emerson had the better game of the two. So
He did.
Yeah.
He did.
So I couldn't hear you two. I actually couldn't hear a word what you were saying. I got these new AirPods and I don't think they're working very
You have
well.
to learn lip reading.
Yeah, normally I can. I just couldn't. So Spence, do you think Spence will get a go, Phillip? Do you think Spence
I hope
will?
so. I hope he will. I mean, the young player, very highly rated. Okay, it'll probably take him a little bit of time to get up to speed with the Premiership because I mean, coming from the Championship up there it's a fair old leap, you know. Good knowledge you are. So I'm surprised you didn't actually get a bit of game time tonight. I thought tonight would have been a good opportunity to put him out there, you know, to see how he did. See, I think, as I said, I think it's an audition between the two boys to see who stays, Doherty and Emerson. So Spence, I think, may have to buy this time, may have to work his way, impress in training. And it could be a few matches down the road before we actually get to see him in the first team starting a match.
Yeah, that's what I think as well.
Again, you never know. I mean, Conte is anything but predictable. So, you know, you just don't know what's going to happen.
I know.
You know?
And Carl Simpson says, Dermot, you're a lucky mate, what they were saying about you. Yeah, I'm sure they were saying lovely things about you.
He's so funny, old Cole is.
Yeah.
He's so
I'm sure
funny.
Mark was saying,
Just
bring on an Arsenal
don't look at
fan.
the replay of it.
Yeah. Bringing on an Arsenal fan to a Tottenham show. Mark, he's really getting bollocking when I see him next.
Yeah.
Guys, I want to move on to Romero and Longley. For me, they were the head above the class in the defence. I'll start with you, Philip. How good is Romero and Longley?
Well, Romero is absolutely probably the best centre-back we've had since Ledley King. One of the best centre-backs I've ever seen playing for Spurs, and that's saying quite a lot. The guy is he's got everything. He's got skill, he's got menace. He's scared the living daylights out of the opposition. He's just such a player. His tackling is second to none. His positional play is excellent. He was Italian Defender of the Year the season he came to us from Atalanta. You can see why. Class act.
Yeah.
And I think Longley is going to be a partner in crime for him. They're going to be our new Jan Vertonghen and Toby Alderweireld.
Wow.
That's
big praise.
Yeah. In fact, I can see Romero being better than those two boys.
Are you worried, Philip, we haven't actually completed his deal yet? Or do you think
he's on a 2-year loan? He's on a 2-year loan. There's no need to. But we have him until the end of this season coming. So then they'll do the business, No. They'll sign him up in a heartbeat whenever that's up. Absolutely.
Elly, what do you think of Romero and Longley?
I absolutely love Romero. I liked what I saw of Longley. And I've liked what I've seen of him watching him on YouTube. I haven't seen him play a live game apart from today. But Romero, he's something else.
Yeah.
He's a specimen of a man, for starters. His athleticism and his ability to seek out danger. He sees it very early. I said this before. He's like a submarine, and he's got like a, when the thing comes up and he goes, and it's like a periscope, and he snuffs out the danger.
Yeah.
Very, very quickly. His reading of the game is superb. His tackling is on point, and he's like Phillip said, he's so aggressive, and he does it in a good way though. He doesn't lose his temper too often, but he'll look at the man as he's lying on the floor after he's tackled and give him a wry look, won't he? Which I love. I love that.
That one tackle tonight he made on the Roma player. Jesus,
incredible.
Romero and Longley are brilliant together. All we're missing is Milovic from Fiorentina, who we're in talks with. I'll start with you, Elly.
Come on, bring him in.
Do you prefer him, or would you prefer Skriniar, or would you just be happy with Milovic from Fiorentina and have them three at our back three? Would that please you?
In terms of footballing skill and able to handle himself on the floor, I would go for Milenkovic. But in terms of experience, Skriniar is... both players have got their pros and cons, But overall, I would go for Milenkovic because I think he would blend in well with Longley and Romero better. I just feel he's got a little bit extra, you know.
Philip, same question to you. I mean, them three together, would that make you happy?
It would, because see what we've got there. We've got two ball-playing centre halves in Romero and Longley, and we've got brute force and ignorance in Milenkovic. I mean, he's about 9'4" as far as I can hear. He's a big guy. He might be the most skillful player, but his sheer height and physical presence would mean a lot more solidity for Spurs at set pieces. And that's something we're very, very prone to at the moment, is giving goals away, as like tonight. Well, I think Milenkovic would be a brilliant signing for us. And we would have one of the best, if not the best, defence in the Premiership if we got those three boys and got the wing-back situation sorted out.
Yeah. Do you feel, Philip, I mean, we're all long enough watching football between the three of us to always know a good team always starts with a solid defence.
Yeah.
Do you feel Conte's doing it the right way? The start at the back and the work. He's got the front sorted out. He's got the midfield there. It's just
he would have liked to get the back sorted out, but it's proving more difficult to get. Like, obviously, we were in for Bastoni, and that's not going to happen, I don't think. We meant Skriniar was another one that's supposed to be on the radar. I think getting a decent, good centre backs are they're hard to come by. There's loads of centre backs out there, but there's only a select few that Antonio Conte regards as good enough to play for Spurs, and that's probably why we're having difficulty getting one. Okay, when he snapped up Betancourt and Kulichevsky in January, that was a masterstroke. That got us into the Champions League basically. By those two signings. So yeah, that came out worked out very well for him. And we've now strengthened the middle of the centre back, it's a midfield with Basuma, and we've got a right back with Spence and a goalkeeper with Foster. So really, the only position that he hasn't fully dealt with, really, well, there's two of them actually. Longley has partially dealt with it. Another Milenkovic will make it complete. I still think we need to go for tonight. We're short on creativity.
Yeah,
that's what we need. Someone like Madison to come in and whatever Leicester want for Madison, pay the bloody thing.
Yeah,
because
what was it? Newcastle within 40 million.
Sorry,
was it Newcastle within 40 million? For him?
I'll cry if he goes to Newcastle.
Yeah, I will.
Waste going up there. Really,
they won't get him for 40 mil. Just put it that way.
We need to offer them. We need to offer them 50 million and Harry Winks and keep our fingers crossed. So that's 50 million and £2.50 we're given for him.
Offer them 35 million plus a top-notch player, a special player who won't tell you and offer him Winks.
A lucky bag. You won't know what you're getting until he turns up. You know.
Yeah.
Only that would work somehow. You know.
I know. Elly, I mean,
we've
got a few comments here. I mean, the comments coming in brilliant. We've got Spursy, big up Spursy. Thank you for joining us. If we can upgrade Davis and Dyer, we really would be solid. No problem with them rotating. Then Madison, surely. Elly, we've got to we've got to go for Madison. As Phillip said, pay them the bloody money and get him in.
Yeah.
Or is there another cam player you would like see us get? Or could Gil play that role? Because apparently Valencia are after Gil. So, do you know, what would you do?
Madison.
I would go hell bent for Madison. It's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
The guy scores goals from midfield. We haven't got a midfielder who scores. If you think about it, if he scores 15 goals for us this season, that might be the difference between winning the league title and not. I know, because you win games. Goals win games.
Yeah.
Defensive win leagues. Goals wins games. So I'm thinking if we get Madison and Kostic at right wing back, Milenkovic or Skriniar in the back, then we're settled. Then we can rotate the others in the cup competitions. You know, play the lesser players in the League Cup and the FA Cup.
Like we spent 104 million, I think, so far this season. I don't know whether that's net or gross. We got 20 million for Bergwijn. We get rid of the Chelsea. The Chelsea apparently 17 million. And Ndombele is about £8.75. What do you call
much?
£8.
That much, Phillip?
I've been generous. Like we still have maybe 20, 30, 40 million to come in and transfer. That's very low. So we can spend that. We can afford. Like Levy is going to have to break the habit. Now, fair dues to him. He's it must be killing him that spent so much money so early on in the window. But he's done it. And fair play to him. But he's going to have to resist the habit of a lifetime here and get Madison now. Because the longer that window goes on, more chances are we won't get him. We won't get him. Well, Newcastle can offer 100 million from if they want. They can afford it. We can't afford 100 million. They can.
You know, David Pleat tried to sign him for us ages ago.
I know.
David Pleat tried to sign him for us.
Right.
Apparently, Chris here says we can offer 30 million plus a special guest player and plus half price on the Skywalk. I mean, that is a deal. They should take that. I mean, the Skywalk itself is worth it.
Yes.
Big up.
Can we take Ndombele up to the Skywalk?
Oh, he
build him a McDonald's up there.
Go through it.
You know, like if we build a McDonald's up there, he'd be up there, living up there.
God.
Carl,
Oh.
big up, Carl. Thanks for coming in. And Carl says there's some quality cam available just back picking the right one, which is true. And we've got also big up Paddy Harnett. Big up Paddy. I hope
Hello,
you're doing well, sir, and
Paddy.
thank you for dropping in. This is his starting 11 for next week. Luis, Romero, Dyer, Longley, Doherty, Basuma, Bentancur, Peric, Kulifiski, Kane and Son. Sorry, Elly, no Holberg for me.
Okay.
I give it to you, Elly, because he did say sorry, Elly. What do you think of it? I think that's a decent night.
He's trying to wind me up, isn't he? I think everybody's on a wind up on Højbjerg. I mean, why wouldn't we play Højbjerg? Look,
yeah, but to be fair, Elly, that's not a bad lineup for next weekend. That's a strong team.
it's not a bad lineup, but it's be stronger with Højbjerg. He's my man, and we got top 4 because of him. He played out of his skin last season. He was probably our 3rd best player overall. I would say Sonny was first, then Kane. No, maybe Davis I'll put in front of Kane actually, because overall, and then Højbjerg. Right. I like his combination with Bentancur because they've got a brilliant understanding, and I don't want to break that up. So I like watching them.
Elly, could you just go back a bit? Did you say you put Davis ahead of Kane?
I did.
I hear you correctly?
I did, because he had a tremendous season.
Dave,
and I don't care what anybody says.
Yeah, Dave, if you're watching,
I couldn't agree with you.
Can I just apologise for what Ellie's just said? Ellie's got nothing on this channel. Right?
Do you know why I'm saying it? Let me defend myself, right? Davis played out of his skin.
Yeah.
He really did. And I'll take my hat off to him. But obviously he's not as skillful as Kane. I'm going on who was the most effective. Defensively, he was fantastic. You must agree, lads. He was brilliant. The blocks he put in, the tackles he puts in. I know that he's not that brilliant a player normally, but last season he played out of his skin. And he would have won it if he weren't for Sonny.
That Harry Kane's 17 goals from a standing start in November. He didn't do anything until November. He got 17 goals.
Yeah, that's why I'm not giving it to him.
I still think his performance against Man City at their stadium when we won 3-2 was the Premier League performance of the season by any player. That's a
I'll give you that.
I take your point. I take your point that David's been very good, but I think overall for the total input, the goals created for Son, the goals scored, I don't think too many would agree with you. With all due respect, I don't think David Harris will agree with you.
I don't know.
Hang on.
No, David wouldn't, but a lot of fans were voting for him.
Yeah,
Dave just texted
me. He says, Elly, what the hell?
He's taking us off air.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that Davis had a brilliant season.
I'm not denying that. I'm not denying that.
In my eyes, he was our 2nd best player. And then I'll put Kane. Because Kane had a very bad start. If he had a good start, I would have put Kane ahead of him.
Davis wasn't in the team at the start. Davis only came into the team once Conte came. Davis didn't play the first half of the season, So, I take your point and I respect your point, but I think you're probably you're probably going against a Gale Force win. Agree with you,
Yeah, don't worry,
Elly,
David.
can I just say you're a very brave
hopefully
girl.
I'm still in your good books.
Okay, you're a brave lady. I do respect
because he had an exceptional season.
Elly,
he
I respect
really
your
did.
opinion.
He had an exceptional season.
How can you put Davis?
I'm thinking.
How can you put Davis ahead of Kane?
Because I'll tell you why. Because he'd done so many blocks. He was like a terrier. He brought the ball out really well as well, which he normally doesn't do. And his passing was pretty good. He'd done a few duff passes, but that's Davis for you, But he really did give us a lot. And I just liked the way he played last season because he played with all his passion. Do you know what I like? I like players who play for the badge, right? They play with their passion. I know he's not as skillful as Kane. That's why I'm giving it to him, because he played out of his skin. He really did.
One of his biggest contributions last season, and it wasn't even on the pitch, he was the one that went to Levy and told them the players aren't
Yeah.
accepting what Nuno's doing.
Now, I'll give him 10
Yeah.
out of 10 for that.
Give him 10 out of 10 for that, definitely, because
See?
because Ben Davies is one of the rare breed with footballer. Now, I hope there's no footballers watching this because this is going to sound very awful. But your average footballer wouldn't be knocking down the door intelligence-wise. A lot of them would be
No.
Sun or the Daily Mirror, right? Whereas Ben Davies, we were reading the Telegraph or the Times. He's a little bit more. What would you say? Probably, I think he went to university for a degree. Which is again quite rare among footballers, and that's why he was a very articulate lad, very good talker, and that's why I'd say he took up the bat for the club, the players. He was the spokesman to go to Levy and say, "Listen, we don't want Nuno here anymore," and that was absolutely his most important contribution of the season. Because if he hadn't have done that, where would we be now?
Yeah, exactly. Look, Elly, you're entitled to your opinion. I respect your opinion.
I just love the way he played. That's why.
To say, I would love you to go onto Dave's channel and just say what you just said.
Listen, I know Ben Davies is not the best footballer. I know. I agree with that.
Lord.
But last season, he played out of his skin. He really did have a good season. And normally, I hate that Ben Davies normally. I wanted him gone. And when they were talking about giving him a testimonial a couple of seasons ago, I was thinking, what? Are you having a laugh? He signed a new contract now, so he's won himself a new contract just on last season's performances. I just thought he was brilliant, that's all.
Elly, you've started something now. Listen,
if I put him in front of Sonny, would I get so much stick? Because Sonny had a fantastic season.
He said Nombrelia
was our best player, actually.
He was far. He was earning £200,000 a week and doing sod.
True.
I know. Flipping hell.
Oh Lord.
Do you know what? Ben Davies should have got into. Ben Davies should have got into Levy and said, "Now I've got rid of Nuno. Let me have half his wages as well."
Elly, can I ask you, what have you been drinking? Because you're brilliant.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that he had a good season. There's fans out there that agree with me that he had a really, really good season.
I'm going to have to say this.
And he was.
I will agree with you.
He was second. He was in second in the Player of the Year. Kane wasn't.
Yeah.
At our club, he got second.
Yeah. I'm gonna say something here, Elly. I'm gonna agree with you, but Harry Kane, I know he didn't have a great start to the season, but you could put down to England getting to the Euro finals, the disruption at the club, probably physically and mentally he wasn't there. But when we needed Harry Kane, anytime, he's always been there. He's got us goals when we've been playing bad. He's always been there. Ben Davies, yes, he's a great defender.
Yeah.
He does. He's better than Sanchez and Dyer. I'll give you that, but I cannot have him above Kane. I'm sorry. I'm really, really sorry.
Fair enough. Well, I'm just saying, like last season, I'm weighing it all up.
Yeah,
he did have a really good season. That's why.
I'd actually love to have another debate to show you on this one, Elly. There's a good debate in this one. There really is.
Don't worry, I'll be apologising to David later.
Big up, Simon.
I just thought he had a brilliant season. That's all.
Yeah. No, fair enough, Elly. Respect your opinion. We really do. Simon, big up. He says, "Evening, guys. Hope you're all well. Please, everyone, stop flapping because we haven't got a result today. It's crazy." What I'm hearing after one defeat, I'm confident under Conte. Let's enjoy the ride.
Yeah, look, absolutely.
Yeah, that's true. It's true.
Absolutely,
don't panic.
There's knee-jerk reaction. Some of the knee-jerk reaction has been absolutely ridiculous.
I know. In
fact, some of the. So I'm beginning to think. I'm watching a thing on Channel 4 at the minute called "The Undefeated War," and it's about Russia putting millions of texts into the UK. Purporting to be from UK citizens, trying to cause unrest. And I think there's people on here prepared to be Spurs fans trying to create unrest.
Yeah.
Oh, we haven't had a very good transfer window. Oh, we're going to finish. Such and such should be gone. Or absolute negativity about it, you know? I've got a policy on Twitter. When I see that, somebody putting up negative, I just block them.
Oh.
Yeah. There is something I want to talk to you guys about. I'll do it off screen. I'd speak to you tomorrow about it, Phillip, or more in the next call together. But I need to talk to you something off screen about Twitter, what I've seen on Twitter tonight. Super Tottenham said, Elly, you just fancy Holberg. Holberg
I fancy Romero. I fancy Romero, guys. I do not fancy Højbjerg. I just think he gives a lot for our club. He plays for our club, and he doesn't give the ball away hardly ever.
No.
Hardly ever. And his stats show that as well.
Fair enough. Big up Catman Jess. She says, big up Dermot, Queen Elly, and the Godfather Phillip. Big up, and thank you for joining us, Catman. And then she puts there, i.e. Ireland, I think that is.
That is.
We've got Carl Simpson. I personally do not care. A pre-season result, it means nothing. I've seen some years we've been dreadful in pre-season and had a really great season, and vice versa. Absolutely right.
Example I'll use there is, I used the example earlier on Dave's channel. 2008, Spurs pre-season. This is under Randy Ramos after we won the Carabao Cup or the League Cup or whatever. I think we won 5 pre-season matches on the bounce, including a 5-0 victory over Roma in some tournament somewhere, right? We started the season with brilliant anticipation. We're going to do X, Y, and Z. We got 2 points from the first 8 matches, and Randy Ramos was out the door, and Harry Redknapp came in. So you can't really go in a pre-season, you know?
No. Look, Arsenal stuffed Sevilla 6-0 tonight. They battered. That doesn't mean they're going to have a good season.
Arsenal are going to win the Champions League this season. But I think somebody should tell you in the Champions League this season.
Carl said
they're never going to win it.
Elly's starting 11, Holberg in every position.
Except for goalie.
Simon, big up Simon. And listen, Simon, we've got to get you on the show one time because I really enjoy watching it. Everyone, please get over
reliable
to Hotspur TV and hit the description button there. 6 out of 10, reliable Ben.
That's got a ring to it. But
it has.
I would give him 8 out of 10 for last season.
Yeah.
5 out of 10 for previous seasons.
I'm big up Shawnee boy. I hope you're well, man. I hope you had a good show earlier doing your watch along to the match. So big up Shawnee and thanks for dropping in and I hope you're okay. I just go to get here for you guys because I know you want to for you Phillip. Is this the best team? Is this the Spurs team? Is this the best Spurs team? Is this the best condition the Spurs team's been in since Poch?
Well, when the players were complaining that Poch's training sessions were too hard, and some of them went public on that. I can guarantee you, none of them are going to go public and complain about Conte's training methods, because whenever Poch left, the Mourinho came in, and did he bother training them at all? I don't think he did. Our fitness levels went down to the floor. And Nuno Santos, when he left, Spurs were the worst performing team as regards yards run per match.
Yeah,
we were soon up at the top with Conte. So yes, this is the best condition Spurs have been in. I have heard people say maybe we're overtraining and the players are going to be tired. And you could say some of them looked a bit tired tonight. But I'd say that has more to do with the 27-degree heat.
I say so. I actually agree with that.
Yeah.
I think we're going to be the fittest team in the league, one of the fittest teams in the league this season.
Yeah.
It was something Dave said earlier in his show, which I really agreed with. If we want to be successful, if we want to be the best, we're going to be doing all these long distances in the Champions League anyway. So I do agree with you. I think the heat had something to do with it. Elly, this one's for you. It's from Lisa. Big up, Lisa.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks for commenting. Thank you for subscribing. She went, Elly, I fancy Romero as well.
It goes without saying, it's gorgeous.
Viking, good evening, Lisa. So you got somebody backing you up there.
Yeah. He's not a bad-looking fella, Højbjerg, but I love him for his football, his passion as well. And he's a better footballer than most people give him credit for. You know, if you really watch him, his leadership off the ball, you know, the way he directs people and the way he organises the team to get into position, you know, that's what I like about him. Because football is not just on the ball; it's off the ball as well.
Yeah.
You know what you do off the
Carl
ball.
Simpson put here, and I think it's a really good point.
Great
I think
point.
Arsenal played Seville, didn't they? Today was it? Or yesterday?
6-0.
Yeah.
6-0.
What people fail to realise about the Arsenal result is that Seville played 2 games in 2 days. Score completely out. I agree with that.
But let the Arsenal boys go
They
about their
did.
delusional fantasies. Let them go about it.
Yeah.
It makes it even better for us when they hit the ground with a bump next week and the week after.
I didn't watch that All or Nothing. I just watched it when we beat them at White Hart Lane. I just skipped the rest of the season, just watched that bit.
They should have renamed for Arsenal. They should have renamed it Nothing or Nothing.
It's like fast forward to our game, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's what I'll be doing.
There it is.
Just watched it.
Oh,
my God. Classic.
You know, I mean, I'm going to say it. Well, we've actually talked a lot. The question was going to bad, but Elly, I get you think, how bad was the ref tonight?
Oh,
It's terrible. That's not a referee. That's someone they just got from the fish market. Brought him in. Come on, do you want a referee tonight?
you're dead
You know
right.
what I mean?
Yeah.
It's crap. He was making so many errors.
He didn't even understand the basic rules of the game. You know, when a Roma player fouls a Spurs player, it is not a free kick to Roma. That was basically the way I was looking at it. You know,
Do you think they went outside the officials? Hang on, see a bloke standing on the street corner. Do you fancy making it? Put this on the pretend to
We
be
haven't got a ref. Do you want to?
no, I reckon they held the competition in Tel Aviv. You know, be a referee for a night, and he won the competition.
That's so true.
Or he got the short straw.
Catman Jess, there are people backing you up tonight, Elly. There really are, Elly. He says, don't forget that Elly was a midfielder, and she knows what she's talking about when it comes to the hard work that they do. That goes unnoticed often. Holberg is a definition of a hard-working player. Look, Holberg reminds me of... I'm probably going to get shot down for pieces for saying this, but he sort of reminds me a bit like Graham Roberts type player. You know, Graham Roberts wasn't always the best player on the pitch, but for come to putting his foot in, for putting his neck on the line, he was always there. Holberg for me is like that. But do you know, we all seem to forget what's going to happen to Skippy. Where's Skippy, or where does Skip come into all of this now?
He's going to be the loose cannon here. He's going to be the what's I'm looking for, the ace in the pack, really. However they're going to fit it in somewhere. I think he will be fitted in somewhere, but though his injury has come at a bad time for him. He's not been able to show himself in pre-season. Well, great to have in the squad, you know. I don't think he won't displace Betancourt or Højbjerg or Bissouma.
No.
I don't think so. I think he'll come in for certain, or when injuries, if injuries happen, you know. Well, it's just unfortunate for the lad that he got injured when he did.
Just a quick question. I got one here. Who out of tonight's team will Conte pick on Saturday?
Well, most of them, really, to be honest. Yeah. But I think the team that came up earlier is not too far off. Like Kane, Son, Kulichevsky picks itself. Maurice picks itself. Romero and Longley pick themselves. The midfield is a little bit more contentious because you've really got 2 out of 4 there, you know, so 4 out of 3. It'll be mostly the team that started tonight, I think, mostly. That's maybe the odd little surprise. And they've a week to impress Conte in training. Yeah. That's what's really down to it. You know? Yeah. It's a good team to play first. I remember this time last year sitting back thinking, Christ, with Manchester City first, we're going to get hammered. And we beat them. Yeah. You know.
I think I remember you coming on to Dave's channel, and I did like every other fan, including myself, and think, oh God, we've got Man City first game. And how deflated we were. We had the whole summer looking for a manager. We had the Harry Kane debacle. You know, and you weren't as optimistic of going into a season. By Jesus, this season. What a flip round.
No, it's great to see it. you know. And they've even I even saw earlier on where now I don't think we're this low, but we've gone from 25-1. I thought we'd gone to 12-1 for the title, but somebody put up earlier we've gone to 6-1.
I saw that as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if that's right or not. That seems pretty optimistic now, to be honest. Like if you said we're 6-1 for the FA Cup, I'd say yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Maybe not the league. Although I watched Manchester City tonight and they were patently crap.
Or was
They
it
were
the
really
Champions
poor.
League tonight?
They were beaten 3-1 by Liverpool. And
Yeah.
Liverpool played them off the pitch, basically. But what I couldn't get over is watching it on ITV. When Liverpool scored, this new boy they got from Benfica scored the third goal in injury time. Now, he scored it from about 16 inches out. It was one of those tap-ins, right? He celebrated like they'd won the European Cup, the World Cup, Ascot, Wimbledon, the whole lot, all together. It was so at the top. It was unbelievable. And the commentator, oh, what a brilliant player he is. He was on the pitch for 3 minutes when he scored. You know, I just cannot take this hero worship of Liverpool.
Yeah. Do you know what it is? It's because Haaland missed the sitter, didn't he? He hit the bar from about 7 yards out. And like, because the other guy, Nunes, scored from about 3 yards, it was like he was the archangel of Ireland. You know, he's come down to save Liverpool.
City are notoriously slow starters. In fact, we beat them last season, right? They are slow starters. But I must say, Liverpool look good tonight now. And it pains me to say that, but you know.
Yeah. The first goal was very good as well.
It was, yeah.
Trent Arnold.
What do you say to Spurs' coming here, Philip? Do you agree with them? Perisic will be the only new signing starter.
I think I play Longley. I think Longley's second half performance tonight will have played him in to get ahead of Sanchez. I can see Dyer playing, but I think Perisic and Longley will definitely start. Richarlison can't be suspended. What do you call him? Bissouma. That's going to be a big decision, whether it's Bissouma and Bentancur or Bentancur and Højbjerg. That's going to be a huge decision to make. I wouldn't look that one, which way that one's going to go, you know.
Yeah. And Elly, Doherty or Emerson?
Emerson.
I think, do you know what? I said Doherty earlier because he is a proper right wing back. It's just he's defending, but then Romero can cover him. I think Doherty probably offers us more going forward, and he's got a better pass on him. But
he doesn't like passing forward.
They're both not up to it.
Yeah.
They're both not up to it. Both of them.
Would you start Spence?
They're not good enough.
Would you start Spence?
I would, but I don't think Conte would.
I would.
I would too,
because he's not Conte's boy, is he? He's not his signing.
Yeah.
I think we should sign Kostic this week and start him.
I think one thing's going to happen. Southampton. So I know Southampton beat us last season, right? And we went through an awful patch. Southampton on Wednesday and Wolves on Saturday. I remember being at that Wolves game. Jesus, terrible. But anyway, remember that. Remember that. Anyway, no, I think
Southampton match. That's the one Højbjerg got taken off, and they left Winks on, and we were winning 2-1, and then we lost 3-2.
That's right.
And
that's right.
James Ward-Prowse, he killed us with that killer pass.
Go for.
I don't think he's available. He's a good player, but I don't think Southampton will sell him. To be honest with you, I think
they're not going to sell him. They won't.
I don't think Southampton will be too adventurous.
He's
either.
Too precious.
I think Southampton will sit in and try and frustrate us, and we're going to have to get used to that.
They can play a bit. They can play a bit, Southampton, though. They're good footballing side.
Yeah, but it's up to us not to let them play. You know.
Yeah.
And see the next Kostic about going to West Ham, another waste of a talent going there he goes. You know.
I know.
We've
got Catman Jess here saying
they haven't got that one over the Len line.
Yeah.
No.
Catman Jess saying her starting lineup for next Saturday will be Lloris, Doherty, Romero, Dyer, Longley, Perisic, Højbjerg, Bissouma, Son, Kubalevsky, and Kane. What do you think, guys?
It's not going to be too far off that. maybe one or
Probably.
two. Doherty, Longley, and Højbjerg, stroke Betancourt will be the ones that might be different.
Yeah.
You know? I
You
don't
see,
know.
that's the one that worries me is Holberg and Basuma. They cannot play together. That's the only
No, they're too similar.
But I'm absolutely
They're too similar.
Sanchez isn't in anybody's lineup. That's just made my night.
Yeah.
I mean, that's brilliant.
Remember this season too with 5 substitutes.
Yeah.
So the bench is going to be an awful lot more of a factor this season. I mean, we need to have a strong bench every game. And I think we will have a strong bench, you know, because the subs are going to win matches for us.
Yeah. Guys, do you think we've got a stronger bench than we did last season? Do you think we've got a stronger sort of 22, if you know what I mean?
Well, we signed 6.
Definitely.
Yeah.
We got rid of 1. We're 5 players. We're net 5 players up on this season, on last season at the moment.
Yeah.
So yes, we have a stronger bench. Yeah.
I still think we can make our team stronger, obviously, with a few more signings.
Yeah.
Because then we can drop Dyer to the bench, drop Davies to the bench. Well, Longley will probably get in front of Davies. But, I still think we need 3 more, I think. 3 more.
Yeah. Shamu's going to make a bet.
Ring up Kostic and say, listen, you know, you realise you're going to the wrong team in London.
Yeah.
You're going to a team that blows bubbles, thinks they're above their station, you know. I mean, the Champions League is a huge.
We'll never win anything.
And if we should use that in our advantage to get players like Kostic in. I mean, Kostic, Milanovic, what do you call him, and Maddison. I think I'd die happy if that happens.
Yeah.
All West Ham like to do is play with our bubbles and have a dinosaur run around the pitch dancing. So that's all you've been going to watch.
Handouts. As somebody said, when West Ham score a goal, the boys in the back of the stand are in a different time zone. You know, so far away from the pitch.
They're probably selling jelly Gills. They're probably selling jelly Gills at the back of the stand. Here, have some of them.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Are you all right for a few more minutes, Philip?
I soon need to hammer it. Have you got much more to go?
Well, me and Elly are going to go on for a little bit. So,
I think if you don't, it's just I have a very early start in the morning. I still have a lot of things to do here. But,
you've done a marathon of streams.
I thoroughly enjoyed this. This has been great fun tonight. It really has, you know.
Yeah, it's been good.
It's been good. So let me know.
My Davies and Kane debate.
Oh yes, I think you might not have heard the last of that. You might not have heard the last.
Can we put it out to the fans who they think had the better season, Kane or Davies?
I will put that on the poll on our Twitter page.
Yeah,
put it as a poll.
Yeah, put it on a poll.
Yeah.
I want to see how close Davies gets to him.
If you are watching, this has nothing to do with me and Philip. We're totally out of this. This got nothing to do with us.
Listen, me and David are like that. He knows that I know.
I tell you one thing, Elly.
Obviously, of course, he's a better player.
I can hear rumblings now. They're coming from Kildare. It's like
it's an earthquake.
It's not an earthquake. It's David Harris revving up.
Yeah. He's got Thor's hammer out on his hand, right? You can feel the lightning coming down. And then it's a house in a minute.
Anyway. So that'll be very
I get criticism for Højbjerg all the time in the chat, don't I? So you have to defend your man. So
very great. I tell you, Elly.
I'm saying that Kane is a better player, obviously, but I just thought Davies played out of his skin. He did. He played brilliant.
Yeah, well.
He's still not good enough, though.
He's
still not good enough. That's why we bought Longley.
Yeah. Anyway, listen, lads, I'll have to sign off.
I better shut up.
See you the next time.
Yeah,
all
we'll
right,
probably
Phillip.
be on again on Tuesday because Izhan said he'd be free then, so we'll probably do a show
Tuesday night. I'm playing in Dublin this Tuesday night coming, so I might not be around. But,
we're doing one on Thursday night anyway.
Oh yeah, no, it's just Tuesdays are my bogey night, you know. So listen, come on, you Spurs.
Yeah, that's it, Philip. Thank you again, and we'll see you next week.
See you next time.
Next week for the
pre-season
show. And everyone, that was Phillip the Godfather. I mean, what a man.
He's
What
brilliant.
what a
He's funny.
gentleman he is.
I think I'm going to hire him as my bodyguard when I go to Ireland.
No need, Eddie. You'd be
No,
welcome
actually,
here.
because Kane's not Irish; he's English.
Yeah, but you know how much Dave loves Harry Kane. You
I
can't be
know.
saying
I
these things
know.
to Ellie. Oh, I don't
I
know. What am I
know.
going to do with you?
I've said it now. I can't take it back.
Can I ask you a question? What are you drinking? Is there vodka in that drink of yours?
It's like water.
Yeah,
It is
right.
water.
That's special juice. That's
It
special
is
Greek
water.
juice. That is. That's special Greek juice. Right. Ellie,
Oh
I've
my
got
God.
two more things to go through, and then we'll wrap it up ourselves. But I am having a giggle doing this tonight. I really am. Just a quick one. This one here. This one I really was wanting Philip, but I will ask him again. Is it becoming difficult to sell the likes of Harry Winks, Reguilon, Lo Celso, and Ndombele? And if it is, what would Conte have to do? Would they have to actually get them out the first team and let them train with the reserves? Because you don't want the bad.
Yeah,
So what would you if you
know.
were Conte? You're a footballer yourself. You've been in dressing rooms for the lady sides. You've
Yeah,
been a professional
yeah,
footballer. If you were Conte
yeah.
in his shoes now, what would you do with these players? You know they're not in your plans. You know that they're not going to be in the first team. What would you do with them?
Well, Harry Winks, he's a Spurs lad anyway, so I would keep him around because he's not toxic at all. He loves Spurs. It's just he's not good enough, so I would still keep him there. The other three, I think Lo Celso's probably in Spain anyway because he
Yeah.
wants to move to either Villarreal or Sevilla, I believe, or is it Atletico Madrid, one of the two. And then Ndombele, what can we do? We can't even let him use the training ground because I think
No.
he's just too toxic, and he's walking about like he owns the place.
Yeah.
So no, Reguilon, he's a good lad. He doesn't cause any harm. He's had a few tiffs with Conte, I've heard,
Yeah.
but that's because he fell out of favour. And because he's a little bit of a party boy as well, so which Conte doesn't want. So yeah, I just feel we gotta ship him out quickly before the
Yeah.
season starts. But Harry Winks, I would keep him there until we sell him. Let him
Yeah.
train with the first team because he's not a bad lad.
No. And would you start cancelling contracts or what? How would you do it if you can't get rid of them? Especially with Ndombele. I mean, Phillip is right.
Yeah.
He's worth about €8.50. I mean, that's just being generous to the man.
If we
If
we can't get rid of
you just
him.
cancel these contracts and say, look, just please,
We did.
your contract's gone, just go.
Yeah. We did it to Serge Aurier, didn't we?
Yeah.
He was causing a lot of problems in the club.
Yeah.
He had a bad time as well, so we got to take that into consideration. But not Ndombele, he's a lost cause. We just got maybe if we can't get rid of him, nobody will take him off our hands on loan. Yeah, I would actually rip up the contract. Tell him that's it. Sorry, mate. We're not paying 200 grand for you each week. He's costing us nearly £1 million a month to have him.
Yeah.
Because that 200 grand, I believe, is after tax that he gets.
I mean, Spurs is saying that
robbing us blind.
Yeah, it is. I mean, Spurs is saying here I'm being a bit harsh. You can't be part of the first team, but let their agent sort it out. But my thing on that is, you got bad eggs. You got bad eggs in some of them places. Ndombele is a big bag egg, and you're going to have that sort of bad influence in the dressing room, and Conte doesn't want that. So that's my opinion. If they're not going to be part of the first team, just tell them to go and train. I agree with you, Harry Winks. I think he will go. I think he might go to Everton. I think he might go to Newcastle, personally, myself.
Yeah.
So I think he will. As for Reguilon, I think he'll go back to Spain. There's also he's going to
Yeah,
Valencia
definitely.
or wherever in Spain as well. Nonbellier is the one. Who's
Yeah.
going to come in and pay the money for him? He went to Lyon and didn't
Nobody's
do it.
going to pay it.
We made him
Yeah.
I mean, that shows how Steve Hitchens was an absolute donkey for buying him.
Yeah.
It shows how
I
bad
know.
our scouting network was, that we never did any scouting on this man. And he's been with us for how long now? 3 seasons now, Elly?
This is his third season, isn't it?
Yeah. And he's done nothing for us. So, do you know what I
No.
mean? It's I don't know how you feel. Do you know how do you feel the Don's done?
I feel a bit upset as well because he's such a talented player, and
Yeah,
he's wasted his talent. You know, like why have all that talent and not use it to the best of your ability? He's just lazy. He just doesn't want to do the legwork, does he?
no,
He doesn't want to run. He thinks, right, I'll get the ball, I'll do a drop of the shoulder, I'll do a bit of skill, I'll do a fantastic pass, and that's my job done. But in football, you've got to work for 90 minutes. Can't just do 5-10 minutes skill and think you're the bee's knees. That's not football.
No,
You've got to give your all every single game.
You do. I mean, you play for Tottenham Hotspur. You don't play for the money. You don't play for the you play for the badge. You play for the badge. You play for the fans. That is what you're bought to do. As a player, you look at all the great players through our history: Gary Mabbott, Glenn Hoddle, all the great legendary players that all played for the badge. Not one of them let us down. And you got that player who's a record signing, wouldn't come off the pitch even against Morecambe.
I know, he just walked off deliberately slow.
Elly, you and me have seen so many great players over the years. We've seen the likes of Hoddle in his prime. We've seen, Gary Mabbott, the great late Ray Clements in goal. We've seen Steve Perriman, who I've had the privilege. You've seen him and talked to him. I have the privilege of talking to him on this channel. Do you think former players look at some of them players and just shake their heads? Because them players were only on, 100 or 200, 300 pounds, 400 pounds a week back then. Not even that. Do you think these older players look at like the likes of Nonbellier and just shake his head and think, what the fuck are you doing, man?
Yeah. I know. He must turn his belly, because like players like Steve Perriman, he gave his all for our club. He was a legend, and he'd give 100% every single match. And he wasn't a bad footballer either. He was a pretty good, decent footballer. You know, and he didn't take all the plaudits because he was there to pass the ball to Hoddle, get the ball forward and be efficient. Him and Graham Roberts were the backbone of our team. Without those two, we wouldn't have won those 3 trophies.
No.
And we even got to the cup final in '87, so we would have won 4 trophies in the '80s. And we probably, if Gazza came to us a bit earlier as well than he did, we probably would have won a lot more trophies as well. But the thing is, those sort of players, you want them to do well, and then when he doesn't try, it turns my guts, really. I just can't stand it, that you don't want to play for Tottenham Hotspur. We're a famous club. You should pull on that shirt and feel proud that you've got that shirt on and really go for it every single match. I just don't understand the player. I just don't understand. He's either fallen out of love with football, or he's just got so big-headed with all the big wages that he gets, and he just doesn't want to try.
Yeah. Well, I've just got some quotes in here from Conte from tonight's match. Sorry, Elly, I was listening, but this just come up.
Yeah, no.
I think it was asked by it's on football.london, this, and he said he was first asked, you've been unhappy with pre-season in the past. What did you change about this one to ensure you were happy with it? And he's gone on to say, first of all, the most important thing is that all the players except Skip have trained and trained well. In this moment, we have two players, Perisic and Doherty. They have continued to work and reach the peak of fitness because after a long injury, they are struggling a lot. We need to have patience. So I wonder if that's with Doherty's performance tonight. He goes on to say, but today it's a positive to give them a lot of time to play against Matthew and Ivan. Basuma is also a player who's come into our idea of football. I'm happy for Longley for Clement because he's came in with the personality. We need a player to play with personality, to have the quality to play football, also to attack. It's a positive. That it's positive that Ben Davies has recovered. I didn't want to take a risk with him today, so that's why Ben Davies never played either. He didn't want to take a risk today because we have another week to work and bring him into the best physical condition, so he doesn't feel pain in his ankle. Now he feels a bit of pain. He was ready to play today, but didn't want to risk it. Very quickly, Elly.
Yeah.
How do you take what he said first about the players like with Doherty and Basuma and Davis? Are you happy what you're hearing from Conte?
Yeah, in general, I'm happy. I'm thinking he's giving credit more to Longley because he sort of bigged him up quite well, which is good because he did have a good second half. You know, he didn't play the first half, but the second half he was excellent. In regards to Doherty, it seems like he likes him.
Yeah.
You know, because he's saying he's reaching peak condition in terms of his fitness. So yeah, it seems like he likes him and he trusts him. I'm sure that he knows that we can get better. I know that he's probably got one eye on somebody else to replace him and Emerson because they're not the best, put it that way. And Davis, he's being loyal to him because he didn't let him down last season. You know, so and he's protecting the boy because he wants to use him. I know he probably won't use him as much as he did last season and rely on him because he's got Longley now. That's how I read it anyway.
Yeah. Well, he goes on to say, Richardson, I like a lot the way he impacted the game when he came on. Of course, he had that great run up the pitch when he skipped past a few players. We need this type of player. With Richardson to start the game or go into the game, he can have a big impact. For us, it's very important.
Yeah.
We need him behind Sonny. Also, Kane and Cooley and Deki. He is an important player because we have lots of games to play. So, do you feel that does that justify the money we pay for Richarlison? For him, what he's saying, he's there. He's going to be playing he's going to become either he's going to start or he's going to come on. As cover for Sonny or Kane or Deki. So are you excited about our front line, our front four players? Do you think this is the best four forwards we've had in a little while at the club?
Oh, definitely. I mean, they're exciting, all of them. They all bring something different as well. You've got Sonny who can run at players. You've got Kane who can drop deep, pick a pass, play like a number 10. Or he can play as a number 9, and you've got Richarlison who can play any position across that front three, and then you've got Kulu with that sweet left foot, fantastic, and the way he controls the ball, the way he's intelligent. That boy, he's an intelligent footballer. He gets the ball and he's thinking what to do, and he sees pictures in front of him before anybody else sees it, and he'll play the ball to perfection. He'd done so many fantastic balls to Sonny to score last season. So it's a very exciting front three, as long as we can outscore the opposition as well, Dermot, because I can't... The defence as it is, if we buy that centre-half like we were talking about earlier, I'd be more confident.
Yeah.
You know?
I tell you, I've just seen London Bosco behind you, Elly. It's quite brilliant. The nighttime box.
It's the 1-2-1.
He goes on to say he was then asked how important was it getting Perisic in personally for Conte himself. And he says very quickly he's an
definitely.
important player because he's really good. He moves forward. He's good in one-on-ones. And then we can use him. He can use both feet. He was before a winger, which is why he's good in one-on-ones. But he has to continue to work because at this moment he's not the Ivan Perisic I know. That is normal though. But I'm happy because he's reduced the time to recovery from his injury. It's the same for Matthew. For Doherty, I hope to see him like last season. Now he's working and he's struggling. We need to have patience. We need to give time for these players to get really fit. Do you think, especially with Doherty and Emerson, we've become a bit too impatient with them?
With Emerson, I would say yes, because a lot of fans just say he can't play football. He's not a footballer, which I tend to agree with. He's not the greatest footballer, but he'll give his all. The lad tries at least, but he's just not good enough. With Doherty, he's got something there. When I watched him playing for Wolves at right wing back, I was very impressed with him. The way he got forward, the way he came into the box late and scored quite a lot of goals for him. I think he got 7 or 8 goals one season, which is fantastic for a right wing back. So he can hit better heights. It's just whether that injury is going to hold him back. And it seems like Conte indicated in that chat that he's carrying the injury and he's not quite there yet. But it will come. It will come. Same with Perisic. He's got to recover, so that will come. But the thing is, I don't know whether we're going to... Because the Premiership is very hard. It's the hardest league to play in.
Yeah,
so we need 100%ers.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll start with Emerson.
Yeah, maybe. Well, he continues actually to say that. He says it will be very important for us, but then we have Segi. That is a guarantee. Also, Emerson is good. He just said Emerson is good. He didn't say he was one. He was good, brilliant. He just said good. So read into that what you will.
He means he's fit. That's what he means.
Can I just say something? Emerson on FIFA 22 is fantastic. He does everything he has to do.
He was saying that.
I mean, he's done anything brilliant for me. He scored goals and everything.
He tries the boy, but his positional play's not good, and his general passing's not good. But he does try.
Yeah,
he's a trier.
I get back to the Conte press. Well, come out the press conference. Just get through these comments, and one from your niece, Stu Elly. Thank you so much for commenting and being involved tonight. I've really enjoyed some of your comments. They've been brilliant. We have to get you on one show with Elly, with your Auntie Elly here, and love to have you on and just have your thoughts on Tottenham, one post-match show or pre-show when we do one. We'd love to get you on as a guest. So I'll let your aunt sort that one out. Get the toxicity out of the club. We need a fresh start. All need to go. Harry Winks, Lo Celso, Reguilon, and Ndombele. Couldn't agree more. Could not agree more with you, Drew. Absolutely could not agree more with you. Absolutely brilliant. That's the star comment of the night. That's getting that tonight. Spursy, big up Spursy. Best players are humble and love football, not themselves. Exactly. You go back to the.
That's it. You play football because you love playing football, Dermot.
Yeah, you even look at that. I don't like saying it, but you even look at Paul Scholes. You look at
brilliant professional
players like
fantastic
that never
footballer.
took themselves too seriously.
No.
And then big up
What
Simon.
a fantastic footballer as well.
Yeah, and big up Simon as well. And please, everyone, go over to Simon's channel. Hit that subscription button as well for his channel. He's a good lad
channel
as well.
Brilliant.
He says, I think we are a centre back and a cam and a right wing back for being ready to challenge this season, guys. Do you know what?
Yes, I agree, 100%.
I agree with you in the centre back and the cam. I think the right wing back. I think we're going to be all right there. I think, for what I'm reading from Conte's press conference, he seems to rate Doherty. and with Spence as well, he's going to have to work. Simon, I would love to know who would you like to see us bring in for that right wing back position. I would love to get your thoughts on that. So if you could put in the comments,
Yeah.
who do you want to get in, and everyone else in the comments. There's 13 people.
I still think we need somebody.
Hit that prescription.
I still
button.
think we need someone.
Yeah, I do. And if you are there and you do fancy it, also pick up a Patreon membership as well. There's the $3.99 one.
Yeah.
It's cheap as chips. And then once you become a Patreon member, you can come on to the shows, do a pre-show with us, or come on to our post-show. We'll do your Spurs story as well. At Spurs in Look Back in Time, which I'm going to do with Elly and Mark and Phillip, Brady and Izhan as well. And so just be there. It's only, I know money's tight at the moment, but it does help our growth. It makes our channel grow. It helps us to invest in new equipment and get guests on and make this a better view and make this a better view for you. And probably I can get better headphones as well. But make this a better view for you.
I started off with these ones, and these ones died on me.
So did mine died on me as well. I'm actually doing it without any headphones. I'm actually really enjoying tonight.
I've got these ones.
He's
it's really good.
Cresswell and Lampy. Now, for me, Elly, Lampy, I love this little player. I think he's brilliant at Brighton. I think he's quick, he's young, and he's a brilliant little player. Cresswell for you or Lampy?
Do you know what? I'd go for Lamptey as well.
Yeah.
Because I saw a lot of promise in him, and then he got an injury, and he came back from that injury, and he wasn't as good. He was good, but he wasn't as good.
Yeah.
Right? Because when he played against us in the cup game, he was quite poor, but he was still carrying his injury. But by the time we played him in the league, he played very well. He got taken off in that game, but he played very well, and he tried his best to get down. He didn't have a lot of help from his defender on the right.
Yeah.
There was a defender on the right that wasn't very, very good. I can't even remember his name. But, he's a very talented boy, and he was at the Chelsea Academy, wasn't he? So
he was.
They probably thought he was a bit too small, but I like small players. I think they're brilliant. And he's got a lot of talent. He can dribble and he can pass the ball. And he's very good at getting past his player as well, which we need. Because none of our right wing backs can get past their player. They tend to check, or they'll pass it inside. They won't take on a player.
No, exactly.
See, Spence will take on players, but I think Lamptey's better.
I do. Yeah. I've been saying this for a while now. I really like Lamptey. I really do. Always have. Yes. I think he's a great little player at Brighton. And I think it's a player that I think we sort of half looked at him, but we never really went for him. I think if they wanted to bring in anybody, now don't get me wrong, I think Spence is a good buy but Spence is for the future. Lamptey is Premier League proven. And if you could bring in somebody that's Premier League proven, it gives you more of an option instead of starting with, say, an Emerson or a Doherty. Or even the tried Mora there at right wing back. How would you feel about that?
He's more of a baller. He's more of a baller, Lamptey. He can control the ball. He can run forward. His dribbling's good. He can beat the man. He's more comfortable on the ball. And he's got a low sense of gravity, which I like when all the little players, and he'll offer us something different. But do you know what? I would go for Kostic. Because I don't know, I just like that player.
Would you hijack
he's so strong on the ball.
If you were apparently,
because
would you
it's
go
not
and
a
hijack
done.
that
Apparently,
deal?
Apparently it's not a done deal. So,
really?
I would hijack it.
Anyway.
I know. Why would you go? Because they're in the Conference League, for God's sake.
I know. Look.
Why would you want to go from Europa, which he won? And now he's going to go to the Conference League. Come to Spurs. We need you.
Do you know that
No.
West Ham probably offer him a free supply of bubbles for the whole year and a Barney the dinosaur outfit, do you know, to put on before they go out training. They all wear Barney the
Oh my
dinosaur
God.
outfits, right? It's all going
Do you
around
know
with
what I
bubbles
mean?
coming out. Oh, I do
Yeah.
not like
I
West
think
Ham. I know you admit it.
it's Kostic Serbian, I think.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, I think
Isn't
he
he?
is, Ellie. Yeah.
Yeah. See,
I just want
Serbian
to finish
players, they're
off
tough.
the last bit of what Conte said in the press conference.
Yeah.
And it actually
go
brings
on.
me on to Simon's point here about Spence. And I just want to read out this last bit of what Conte said.
Yeah.
He said, there is a new player, Spence. He is a guy who has to work a lot because to go into a Tottenham, it's different in the Premier League with Tottenham. But in the end, I'm happy. I'm happy because we've finished the pre-season. We want to start the season and have important games to get 3 points. And basically, that's what he said in the press conference. And for me,
Yeah.
I'm revved. He's revved. Everyone's revved, and I think it's going to be brilliant. Simon
Yeah.
says, I think Conte needs to let Spence take off because this guy is the next Kai Walker. Do you know what? He's got the potential to be. And
He has.
He has the
Because
potential to be.
I agree with him because when we got Kyle Walker, he wasn't the finished product. We put him out on loan. You know, he went to Aston Villa and I think he went to another couple of sides before we got him back. And we might even do the same with Spence. You don't know because the Premiership is tough. So it's hard to just chuck him in at the deep end. But I get Simon's point because he's got the potential, right? Give him a try because we've got nothing to lose because we've only got Doherty and Emerson. It's not like they're star players, you know. And we've got a jewel in the crown here.
Yeah,
and I've watched him, and I'm quite impressed with him, especially the way he attacks. He's not afraid to take on his man, which I like. I like players who take on their man and they're confident to do it.
Yeah.
You know. But if you look at his stats, they're nothing to write home about.
No.
But when you watch the player, he's really good. So stats don't tell you everything about the player. Eyes are
do.
very important.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
Big up Leo Coys 882. Please, everyone get over to the Mile High Spurs YouTube show. Please hit a like.
He's
hit
a good lad.
These lads will be coming on. I'm trying to get them onto one show because I love to get the pair of them on. They're two good lads and big up lads. And thanks Leo for jumping in. We've got Simon.
I watched just before you say that. I watched one of Leo's videos on Instagram. It's fantastic. He's got this Andreas Vesea with a Spurs crest.
Yeah.
He's got this beautiful pen, and he's like taking the Andreas Vesea out because it don't longer exist, does it?
No.
So they've taken it out of our club, and he's taking it out. And he's fantastic. And then he pans round in the room.
For me,
brilliant.
For me, Elly, it's like to be fair, it's like our channel badge. I love that badge. The original Tottenham badge with today.
I do.
Today is to do underneath it in Latin. For me, that was I love that badge.
Yeah,
I like
Andreas Vesea. That's what it means.
Yeah.
In French. Yeah.
It's Latin.
I thought it was French. I don't know. I thought it was always French. Andreas Vesea. It sounds French.
Well, to be fair,
I don't know. We'll have to look it up.
Yeah,
I've
to
never
be
looked
fair,
it up,
Elly,
but I
never learned French at school, so I wouldn't know.
Nor did I.
To be fair. Simon puts here, get through these couple of
Well,
comments.
not quite Eric Dyer.
No, not quite Eric Dyer.
Yeah.
Get through the comments, and then I want to talk very quickly about the women's European Championship final. I know.
Yes.
I know. England are in it tomorrow against the Germans, so I just want to quickly jump on that. I know it's something close to your heart, Elly.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
We'll get through this comments and get on to that. Premier Hotspur Simon says against Rangers, I saw enough to say Spence will take the Premier League by storm. Simon, totally agree with you, sir. Absolutely do. Drew says Cresswell Lampton cannot see them as Conte signings. I said exactly the same about Spence. He reminds me of Walker. Yeah, me and Elly too
Yeah,
agree
he
on that.
does.
He's another walker
Well
in
done, Drew,
disguise.
lad.
Drew, as I
Yeah.
said, if you see the signings Conte's bringing in, they have connection and chemistry. Yeah, they do. For
Yeah.
me, Elly, this season seems to. I don't know for you, but I've said it before. I get the same feeling I got in the early 80s. Well, I remember sort of the middle 80s, but you're around for 88 when I was only 4. But I got the same feeling when you look back in 87, we had that good, when we should have really won. We should have really won 2 trophies that season. We lost the FA
we
Cup
should
and
have.
we lost the League Cup semi-final against them lot down the road. Do you feel we're on the brink of something beautiful again? Something really exciting?
Yeah, I'm excited. I just want us to fill those other 3 positions.
Yeah.
Because obviously that'll be the finished package then, in my eyes. Because I don't think we should go into the season without those 3 players. So I'm hoping before the end of this week that we get those 3 players in. But the thing is, Conte hasn't got a lot of time to work with them, but he works wonders. Conte, he's a miracle worker.
Conte, I mean, according to you, Elly, he's made Davis the better player than Harry Kane. I will never let you forget.
Oh my God, yeah. I didn't say that. I just said he had a really good season. That's what I said.
The
and
words
I put him
you
ahead
use,
of
I will
Kane.
find that, Elly, and I will clip it. Okay, I will find what you
said. I said he had a better season in my eyes.
Yeah. I'm going to banter you with that for the season, actually. When we do our first watch along, right, I will banter you.
I just thought he had a good season, that's all. I'm sure other fans thought he had a brilliant season as well.
Yeah. Leo,
let's hear what you say in the chat.
Yeah, that was my brother with the iPad pen. He's my tattoo artist as well. Big up, Leo.
It was your brother.
Yeah.
Right.
So big up.
Brilliant.
Yeah,
it was fantastic.
You have to send me that video.
I was watching it in awe.
Yeah, send me that video.
I'll send you it. Don't worry. After this finishes, I'll send it to you.
Yeah, and
brilliant.
And Simon puts, and Spencer's raw talent. All he needs to happen now is to let him loose and watch him blossom. Exactly. I actually do personally agree with you, Simon. I think Spencer's going to be a great little player. And then we're right up to date. Drew says, if you see the players Conte's getting in, they all have connection and chemistry. Yeah, they do. They really do.
Yeah.
And it's so exciting.
Okay.
Elly,
brilliant. Yes.
Very quickly, let's go to something close to your heart. Right?
Yeah.
England women's side have reached a European final. I mean, us Irish ladies side are in the playoffs for the World Cup, which I'm over the moon with. I can't wait. Can imagine our Irish ladies sides getting to a World Cup. That'd be brilliant. You're playing the old enemy. I don't know how many years it goes, but today it falls today that you last won a major tournament in '66 when England won the World Cup. Do you think? I mean, I haven't watched a lot of the women's European Championships. I'm sure you have. Can you tell everyone what your thoughts are for the game tomorrow? And do you think England can win, or can Germany or the women like the German men? They will get a result.
No, I think England are going to win because they're riding on a crest of a wave and their confidence is sky high.
Yeah.
And I think the Germans are going to underestimate the English team. They think they're going to go on there arrogant, thinking they're going to win because they beat Sweden, and I think Sweden were the favourites to beat them, but they beat Sweden quite comfortably. But England have been playing out of this world, and they've been scoring some fabulous goals. And our goalie is really, really good. She's a good goalie. But in general, I think we've got a stronger midfield and a stronger attack, but they've got the better defence.
Yeah.
On the whole. So I think we're going to give them a good match. I think it's going to be a close one. I'm calling it as at 3-2 to England tomorrow.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Also, this season, I'm actually delighted to announce this. Elly will be doing a women's show every week on the Spurs ladies side. And because Elly is an ex-Spurs player, we are going to do a show on Elly's Spurs career, and we're going to get to know how she got into Spurs, how she started playing, who she played with, who she met of the 80s side, because I know she met some of the Spurs players. Some of them probably just
don't mention that.
Yeah, some of them probably have never got meeting you, Elly. Bless you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
I was
just
very young.
I think it's worth. I think on this channel, I think with Elly as well, we both wanted to show that to give highlight on the women's side of our club, and I think they deserve just as much support as the men's side. So this season, we will be doing any games that are on telly. Me and Elly, hopefully, we'll be doing watch-alongs to the women's side as well. We'll be discussing the women's side on our weekly show. So there's a lot to come forward this season. We're doing Champions League watch-alongs as well. So there's a lot coming up this season. So looking forward to it. And personally, myself, Phillip isn't here and always is, and Mark. I have the best group people to work with on this channel. I am so blessed to have the people I have. And Elly, you've been a star. You've done all the social media work. I'll be honest with you, Elly, I couldn't do it without you. You really are a star on the channel, and I just want to. The
thing is, you've got to promote. You've got to promote the channel. So anybody in the chat now, if you can subscribe, like and subscribe our videos. And we'll appreciate it. And we've got the Instagram account set up now. We've got the Twitter account, and we're also on TikTok.
Yeah, and we also will have a website as well, which we'll be doing other things with as well.
Yes.
But I just want to
be cool.
Thank you, Elly, for everything you're doing. And
That's fine.
I just want
you're welcome.
Just to say thank you, because I really do appreciate it. I appreciate it more. And Phillip Brady and the history you and Phillip bring to the channel is, and Mark as well.
Yeah,
I'm blessed. I'm very, very blessed to have people.
I'll tell you what. I know. I agree with you. Everything. I agree with you. And the Instagram crowd is so good.
They are.
You know, I've got so many fabulous messages. I had one from a guy called Steve who's deaf, and he's bantering with me about Spurs and all the old games. It was so good. The actual chat is so good in Instagram. I recommend anybody who's got a channel. It's fabulous.
I mean,
anybody who's on Instagram.
We will be getting captions up for people that are hard of hearing or sadly or lost their hearing. We will be putting captions up on. I've got to work out how to do it, but once we do it, there will be captions on every show. And you know, and we try to cater for everyone on this channel. That's what we try to do.
We're here for everybody.
Go on, Elly. You read that Super Tottenham's comment. Go on.
I don't know if it's me, but I've watched a lot of Spurs games, even on video of the 80s. We've never had a great defence to be able to challenge for the title, even in the 80s. The great midfield and forwards. Yeah. I would say, we haven't been quite there. We've always had one brilliant defender or two, and then two crap ones. We don't quite get it together in the defence, do we? But the midfield, nobody can argue. We've had fantastic midfields and fantastic strikers. You've got to get that balance.
Do you remember, Elly? It was like when we could have had Hoddle, Waddle, and Lineker. And we had to sell Waddle because of the other show. With so many years, we nearly had a dream team, and we've had to sell one. Or once that. And he also put on there as well, big up Super Tottenham. And please, everyone go over to his channel. He has some good old games on there, a bit like Duck Drive as well. Apart from the 1 year, Walker, Toby, and Rose.
Toby, Vertonghen, and Rose. But we still didn't win the league with them. But
no, I had a conversation with somebody earlier today, and he was saying to me about we were talking about Levy, and he said to me, I was on Dave's show Friday, how it came about, and apparently I said we should be grateful to have Levy. Now, the point I was trying to make was we should be grateful because He's put his money where his mouth off this summer, and
Yeah.
he's backed Conte, and he's kept Conte. And I think personally, I mean, last season I had my rants about Levy. He needs to go. He needs to get out.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes you can. I see it. I tell it as I see it now. And for me, he's done nothing wrong.
Yeah.
And for me, I think
Yeah.
we got that team. For me, it's like the '80s team. We've got something special. And Conte is our best manager since Bill Nicholson and Keith Birkinshaw.
Yeah.
Elly, I want to ask you a question quickly about Conte.
Yeah.
Dave asked me this question, and I answered that he was a Yorkshireman. Are there any similarities between Conte and Nicholson and Birkinshaw? My answer was myself. He's a Yorkshireman. He built the club in his own image, and he did it his way.
Mm.
Do you think that's what we've been missing? That sort of type. Bill was a hard man.
Yeah.
Berkshire was a hard man. Have we been missing that manager, like a Bill Shankly, like an Alex Ferguson, like a Bob Paisley of Liverpool, Bill Shankly of Liverpool, Matt Busby of Man United? Have we been missing that manager? You do it my way, or I'll just go.
Or the highway. Yeah, because Conte don't take no prisoners. If you don't work hard for him, if you're not giving 100% in every aspect of what he's looking for, in training, on the pitch, off the pitch, how you carry yourself when you come into training, what you're like, if you're on time, if you're late, that's it, you're out, mate, you're going home. You know, don't take no shit from nobody. Because that's how he was as a player. He was a hard man as a player. He wasn't the most skillful player, but he was a very good player.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and he carried that into management. He wants the best. He doesn't want second best. And I don't know if you saw there's lots of quotes by Bill Nicholson.
Yeah.
And he said, at Spurs, we've got to be the best.
Mm.
Second best is not good enough.
No.
That's what Conte's trying to instill in our club. He's trying to bring that ethos that Bill Nicholson came into our club. We can't be thinking when we get on that pitch that we're going to be second best. We've got to go on there with pride, say, look, do it my way and you will win things.
Yeah.
Because he's a proven winner. He's a winner, the man. You can't doubt it.
He is. And
he puts everything in place as well to win. You know, he gets into the players' brains as well. And I see that he only praises when he very rarely praises the players. He'll say, "What good job." You know, he won't overly that's what Bill Nicholson was like. He wouldn't overly praise anything. You knew you'd done a good job when he didn't come and see you. You know, and I love the way Conte's running our club.
Yeah, I mean,
and he's got Levy in line as well.
Yeah, I mean, here I've got Bill Nicholson's top 5 quotes. Number 5, there's
fantastic.
There's no use being satisfied when things are done wrongly. I want perfection. His 4th one, I think, should be labelled at non bellier, right? This is his one. If you don't have to drag yourself off the field exhausted after 90 minutes, you can't claim to have done your best.
That's
the third one, we must always consider our supporters. Now, this for me is important. We must always consider our supporters, for without them, there will be no professional football. It would be better to have more fans watching football the way they like it played, rather than have a few fans watching football the way we would like it played. Which I think is a very, very sort of brilliant quote. Number 2, it's magnificent to be in Europe and this club, a club like Tottenham Hotspur. If we're not in Europe, we're nothing. We're nothing. And the number 1 quote, Elly, the number 1 quote, he said, "It's better to fail aiming high than succeed aiming low."
I love that
We of
quote.
Spurs have set our sights very high, so high, in fact, that even failure would have in it the echoes of glory. I love that quote. That's my favourite quote.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
What a man.
Yeah.
What a man. Brilliant.
We're going to finish it off there, Ellie. So
Yeah.
what's your score for tomorrow night for the England Germany for you?
I said 3-2 to the English ladies. Come on, the England. Come
Well,
on.
look, I will say
Pick
if England
3-2.
wins, me and Ellie may come on and we'll let Ellie have 20 minutes of
Yes.
celebrating, and I'll just have to sit there
I
and
was
be
what
quiet and just bear it for about a day.
I love it because the news are going to, like, just now on the news before I come on, they went to Barnet Football Club earlier today.
Yeah.
It was a Greek team actually called Ammonia, and it
Yeah.
was all the team. It's run by a Greek guy, and they were talking to all the girls, and they said, "Look, they're our idols now. We want to become professional footballers because we've seen these women excelling, and you're getting 75,000 crowds,
Do you know
90,000 expected at Wembley."
For me personally, Ellie, I think it's great for the women's game. If it's over here
Yeah,
or in England, I think it's brilliant for the women's game, for all women's
and it's a
football
very,
in
very
general.
good standard.
Yeah, and I've watched some of the women's stuff on the Premier League, and some of it's better than the men, I have to say.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, we're not saying it's better. We're just saying it's very entertaining. Even if they're not as technically gifted as the men in a lot of ways, but they are gifted. A lot of these players have got skills, and the goals they've been scoring are fabulous. So yeah, I'm just saying big up all the women because they've given us a fantastic tournament, and now it's between England and Germany who takes the prize.
Well, I
Yeah.
wish the very best of luck, Ellie, but Germany are going to win. Right.
Oh my God.
Big up, Joe. Thank you
Typical
for all your
Irishman.
comments tonight, Jimmy. The diamond you really have. She says, my 15-year-old son came downstairs straight out of his bed. Not even a good morning. We are winning the league, he said, and that's a big statement, son. That's a big statement, son. But now I can feel it. Do you know what a comment to end the show on? I'm going to leave that up for a bit. We are going to win
Come
the league.
on, you
I
Spurs.
feel we're going to do the
Come
double
on.
this season now. It may be a league cup double. We could be the cup double, but we are going to do the double this season. Ellie, thank you so much for tonight.
Brilliant.
I hope you
Thank
enjoy
you, Dermot.
watching tomorrow
Been a
night
pleasure.
against Germany. May the best team win, but it will be a team from Germany that are going to win. And
oh my God. All the English are turning in their graves.
yeah, right, Ellie. Okay. But yeah.
Even the bus is going past. They're arguing.
Bus, yeah. Every time I see that bus, that reminds me of the Harry Potter film. Do you know when Harry Potter goes in the bus and he's going to the house? It reminds me of that. Drew, great shows, guys. Thank you, Queen, Auntie Ellie, the best. Drew, thank you so much.
Thank you, Andrew.
Ellie, do you want to say something to your niece?
I'll get her on. I'm going to persuade her to come on. Don't worry.
I love her son as well. Get her and the son on. That'd be a great combination because I love.
Her sons are brilliant footballers as well. Her sons are really good footballers.
Who does he play for?
They play for their own local teams.
Yeah.
Well, she lives in Finsbury Park in that area.
Yeah.
So it's Arsenal area really. So no, but they're going to be Spurs boys. They're all Spurs fans anyway. All our family is Spurs.
I used to get the train.
There's no Arsenal fans in our family.
I used to get the train into Finsbury Park every year for 4 years when I worked on the Arsenal Stadium.
Did you hold your nose as you go past Arsenal?
Do you know the best part of the job was? I got to demolish Highbury. I swear to God, that was them. And that we were demolishing this story. I will tell you this. I made a few quid out of it, right? We were taking the tiles off the dressing room walls, right? And I thought to myself, right, how can I make a few quid out of this? The Scums Club. So I got a whole skip full, and I stacked them on a pallet. Stacked them. I got a little fork, brought them out to the side of the road, and I used to stay behind on a Saturday. Right, we used to finish at 1. I used to stay for an extra 2 hours selling these tiles to Arsenal fans going by. Right, I made an absolute bloody fortune.
Brilliant.
But we've got to demolish the stadium because they built them in the flats. It was brilliant.
Yes.
Working on the new stadium. They used to have private policemen walking around the stadium, right, catching Spurs fans writing on the walls anti-Arsenal.
I know.
So
No.
under that centre circle, right, there's a little capsule, and we put a Spurs capsule underneath the centre circle.
Well done.
So we put
Come
scarves,
on.
we put everything under there. So absolutely, absolutely brilliant. But I tell you one thing, the best job I worked on was probably the Olympics. I think that was the best job I ever worked on. Terminal 5 was cool. Arsenal was all right. The Dome was good, but working on the Olympics was something special. Super Tottenham, great show, guys. Thank you so much. This is this lovely lady from America, I think, Christina Thompson.
She's lovely. So
she says, enjoy the stream very much. Thank you. Well, no, thank you for joining in.
Thank you, Krista.
Without all of you,
we'll have a chat on Instagram after.
And Jew LA said boo. So that's
boo
to
the Arsenal.
Working at
boo.
The Arsenal.
It's boo to the Arsenal.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining in tonight.
Brilliant.
Thank you for joining. Thank you for Phillip. Elly, you've been a diamond as always.
Been a pleasure.
Elly, I'll let you tell people where they can find us on social media, and I'll do the other bit. So where can people find us? Where can people find you?
Well, we've got 2 sites on Instagram. One's called Glory THSC, THSC till we die, till I die. And the other one's THSC till I die. You can find us on Twitter. You can find us on YouTube and TikTok. And I think you've got Twitch, haven't you, as well, Dermot? So
we will be going back onto Twitch. I'm trying to get the shows on. We do the shows live on Twitter, but I'm trying to get the shows live onto Instagram as well. So we'll do it on both.
Yeah.
So we will be there. Leo, it says, sorry, I have to leave. I have streams to do. When you guys finish, let me know. I'll extend the invite to you too. Well, send us the.
Lovely.
If you can send us the StreamYard link.
StreamYard, to WhatsApp.
On Instagram. Or put it into our private
on Instagram as well.
WhatsApp groups. Yeah. Send it on Instagram and we'll click into it. And I'll be there. Are you coming on, Elly?
Yeah, I'll come on. No
and
problem.
Me and Elly both will be on. So give us about 5 minutes and we'll be there. So big up, Leo.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Talk more Spurs.
Yeah. And Danny says,
nice one. Thank you for the invite.
So thank you so much, Elly. We'll be back next week on Thursday. We're doing a pre-season show where we're going to talk about where we think we're going to finish in the league. We're going to do our top 4, who our top 4s are going to be.
Yep.
And then we'll be back next Saturday night or Sunday evening with a post-match show for Southampton, and we'll be doing a pre-match Friday as well, Friday night before the Southampton game. We're doing a pre-match where we'll be doing a bit of pre-up for the Southampton game, but going back through the history of us playing Southampton and
brilliant. That'd be interesting.
So listen, thank you very much.
We've had some good games against them.
Thank you for joining me.
Thank you, Dermot.
And
thank you very much.
See you next week. I think Izhan's going to do a transfer show on Tuesday. So I don't know if I'm supposed to be going on to another show with Dave next week. So you might see Izhan and Elly there. So Elly might be hosting that show doing the transfer show. But
send me the StreamYard link and we'll do it.
Yeah, and
he's going to do a Gary Mabbott one as well, isn't he?
Yeah.
For Mark.
Well, thank you so much indeed for everyone watching. God bless you.
All right then. Have a good night, and we'll see you over at Leo's.
You see over at Leo's, and once I can find the go out button, come on you Spurs, and come on Germany.
Come on you Spurs. Woo!
Come on you Spurs.